Now, important elements, obviously, of the INSEAD experience have been created by you as the participants. And I would like to now invite your class speaker to come forward. Your class speaker is Farida. Alkaff, please.
Good afternoon, Dean Mehoff, Dean Payer, INSEAD faculty, staff, distinguished guests, family, and my dearest friends from EMBA 2019 and EMBA 2020. You're going to have to forgive me as I take a few minutes to just soak in the atmosphere today because it really feels so surreal. This morning, I woke up with a start, thinking that I just missed a class and I was going to be late. And then I realized that this day today would be the last time that we would be together as a cohort. It's the beginning of a new chapter. We made it. I thought really long and hard about what I wanted to talk about, and in the end, I landed on simply speaking from the heart. I'm going to begin by talking about pictures. I came across this tweet from a researcher recently, and it said, "Everyone I know in business school looks like they're having the time of their life. Can they all be lying? Do I really know this many deceitful people? Every day an outing, not a single picture of the library." And it's true, isn't it? Especially when we look back at our photos, when we prepared our graduation slide. We've been posting photos with hashtag INSEAD moments, hashtag living my best life, hashtag blessed. And there was certainly no library. But this is only the highlight reel. We only talk about the happy times and not the challenges that we face, those late nights that we spent, missing birthdays, and doing strategy polls when we really wanted to just spend Christmas with our family. And it's easy to make assumptions about people based on superficial information. We look at each other's LinkedIn profile, another highlight reel, and it's easy to dismiss it. But I know that everyone here is so much deeper than that. Everyone here, behind every vignette, has a story. I wish you could see yourselves right now, so Instagrammable in your graduation regalia. But that picture that you take today may capture this illustrious moment, but not necessarily where you went and the transformation that happened in order for you to get here. And of the many chances, the hard choices and challenges that led up to today and made us who we are. And I know this because many of us shared parts of ourselves together while we were seated in a lecture theater, or on a bar stool, or even on the grass in Fontainebleau. And today, I'd like to share with you my story. Like many of you, my story is really that of an ordinary person blessed with extraordinary opportunities. I was raised by my mother, a single parent, and my grandmother, who was illiterate. She grew up in a village in Malacca and never went to school. Despite having never had the opportunity, or perhaps because of it, they always drilled into me the value of education as the ticket to a brighter future. And growing up, I was that kid who buried her nose in a book with few friends, but taking to words the way fire catches on paper. I loved reading. I read everywhere I went, my head full of adventures, in places and wonder, never believing, however, that I could be the heroine in the story, that these are things that happen to other people in other places. Truthfully, my life had challenges growing up, and I didn't have much, but I had books, and I had dreams. Like many, it was with the support of exceptional people who opened the door for me when they could have closed them, hard work, and good timing that I managed to make something of myself. But along the way, learned patience, persistence, and the value of hardship. Looking back, I think I now know why our INSEAD application asks us to be candid about ourselves, our failures, and our aspirations. Do you remember when you wrote those applications? It was because we had to have learned certain lessons in order for us to be here. And for me, that kid coming from a humble background from Singapore, with a story like mine, dreaming of adventures, but never really thinking that privilege would belong to me, I never would have dreamt or dared to dream that someday someone looking the way I do will be standing before such an international and respected group of peers to deliver this valedictorian speech. I am deeply honored, and I thank you, especially my peers from the Middle East cohort, for this beautiful gift. Remember when we climbed Everest? We were younger then, so full of energy. And for many, your liver was probably in a much better condition. It was last year, during the start of the program, our first module on organizational behavior, and we had a simulation that required us to get everyone to the top, hopefully without killing one another. Remember how you felt back then, at the beginning? Excited, nervous, doubting yourself, and perhaps off balance with this motley crew of classmates, so different from you, and wondering just how, if ever, you'd get along. Remember when you chose to open your heart and made friends for a lifetime, to be fully yourself and to be seen and understood by others just beyond that superficial snapshot. INSEAD has truly been an amazing and incredible journey. So let's pause for a moment and just breathe instead of thinking, what next? The last 14 to 18 months was not a calm or easy expedition. We have been buffeted around and taken in many different directions because the map is not the territory. Many of you may have asked, could I even really do this? And I myself had that moment where I wondered, why in the world was I doing here? I could only read and write. That's why I went to law school and became a lawyer and ran far, far away from numbers. And now suddenly I was confronted by Greek symbols, graphs, and Excel. And I remember that sinking feeling in my stomach. And I felt lost. And maybe your sinking feeling is in another moment because you aced that exam. But what about the time when you had to rock climb or be vulnerable with your coaching group or write exams in your second or third language? We've all had that moment and we prevailed. And if you're graduating today and you're wondering or insisting that, no, you didn't feel that way, are you sure you were in the same program as the rest of us? In those moments when I was feeling doubt and being tough on myself, I found everybody here offering help, encouragement, support. And that's what I think has been so beautiful about this experience. We're in a room full of people who will always support us and who will always want nothing but the best for us and want to see us succeed. And that's really, really beautiful. It's been what we do, holding hands with each other through the difficult times. And there have been difficult times in this voyage. Some of us lost jobs, had loved ones passing, disappointment, heartbreak. But I've personally been inspired by your strength in this journey. And you are not alone. We hold your hand then and we hold your hand today, but we celebrate. We celebrate today the successes and your strength coming here today, as we have celebrated the birth of babies, the promotions, finding love, and even new beginnings in another country. The truth is, I think mountains are given to us so that we can show ourselves how we can move them. INSEAD has been our mountain, so that we can now move more mountains. And I have to think to myself this quote from Maya Angelou: "We delight in the beauty of the butterfly, but we rarely admit the changes that it goes through in order to achieve that beauty." INSEAD has been our transformative journey, and now all of us know how rewarding and painful growth can be. But for now, enjoy that butterfly moment. Even as I take flight with my heart full of possibility, and as all of us do, I have to wonder what will remain of the story that we tell ourselves of these days. Will we make embellishments, adjustments, or sly cuts? Will that memory fade? Today, there's a fire burning in each of us. We felt it yesterday in YFCD, that electric energy that coursed through all of us. It's always exciting to be together as a group. I can see it in our eyes, I can feel it inside me. But in a week, a month, a year, 15 years from now, when we're facing the stresses of everyday life, the emails, the routine, the daily grind, what will remain of that butterfly and what will remain of that dream? So here's my dream for us. Let's dream together. I hope we hold on to this moment and we always stay this inspired. I hope we feel the fear but go confidently in the direction of our dreams anyway, that we find our purpose. And for those of you who have been talking about entrepreneurship, I hope you launch that venture because we believe in you and we want to be the first. And when you IPO, we want to be the first one in. I hope we realize how blessed we have been to have had this incredible experience supported by our wonderful family and friends and supporters, so that we can improve ourselves and give back and contribute to our families, our communities, our countries, and even the world. I believe that we will always lead with integrity, and in those moments of truth, when we have to choose between doing the easy thing and the right thing, that we will do the right thing, that we will do what we learned, which is the good leadership move. And if we're ever unsure, because there will always be those gray moments, call one of us, call home, and listen to a trusted friend. Listen to that voice, and then do the right thing. Above all, I hope we will always continue to be kind. And remember how we chose to have an open mind and listen to one another in those auditoriums, the group work, and in our conversations, even if it sounded insane, illogical, or upsetting. I hope most of all that we open doors for others the way they have opened doors for us. I'm here at INSEAD today because my former mentor, well, he's still my mentor and my former manager opened the door for me and enabled me to be in Dubai as a Singaporean to work and start the compliance program there and become its general counsel at the time. He saw my potential. So to the men and women in this room, give that opportunity to those that you see the potential in. Open a door instead of keeping it closed. We can always sit in the sidelines or watch, and it's not about grand gestures. We have to start somewhere. Wherever we are, use what we have and do what we can. And I hope that we will all be the blessing in someone's lives to open the door and live that dream. Finally, I'd like to finish this speech with a quote from Theodore Roosevelt. You may have heard this before, and I myself have read it many, many times. It's called Citizen in a Republic. What I didn't know, but discovered as I was preparing this speech, was that it was actually given in 1910 in Sorbonne, Paris. And although I have read this many times, I didn't realize that actually when he wrote it, he was being asked, what could a person do to better the community and make it thrive? And when he wrote this portion, he was actually talking about the haters, and it was really about how haters are going to hate. He spoke about the cynics who look down on those seeking to make the world a better place. It's not the critic who counts. It's not the one who points out how the strong person stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done it different. The credit belongs to the one who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred with blood and sweat and dust, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes up short again and again and again, but who in the end knows the triumph of high achievement, and who at the end, if they fail, at least fails while daring greatly. Congratulations, class of EMBA 2019 and EMBA 2020. Congratulations to our family and friends. Good luck and dare greatly.